Hi, I'm Matthew from castingacross.com. In this video, I'm talking about some floatant products, but not the traditional kinds of floatants that you apply to your fly before you fish it, but the kind of things you can use on your fly after you've been fishing for a while. I do have another video, a companion piece to this one, on this YouTube channel, talking about some traditional floatants from Loon Outdoors. Hopefully you're carrying something like Top Ride in your vest or in your pack. Top Ride is a powder, and what it does is it dries your fly off. There is a combination of water-absorbing beads and a floatant powder. So after you've been fishing with a fly that you applied liquid floatant to, once it starts to get saturated, you pull it out, you pop the cap, and you can see some of the dust coming out right there. You put your fly in, you close it, and you give it a good shake. When you pull it out, it's going to be covered in dust, so you blow on it, make a couple of false casts, and then you're good to go. That fly is back to where it should be without you having to dry it in the cuff of your sleeve or on some other product and then applying more liquid floatant. You really do get into a point of diminishing returns if you continually apply liquid floatant to a fly that's already been wet. But sometimes that's not the best solution. For example, if you are fishing in a stream that is very small, or the fish are very finicky, or you can't make false casts. I think of spring creeks where you really don't have the opportunity to make a lot of false casts. That false cast is going to put a fish down. In that situation, I use Easy Dry. The great thing about this is it's just those drying pellets. So you are able to, again, take your fly that's wet that you've made a few casts with, pop it open, drop it in there, and you put it in these beads, give it a good shake. I mean, this isn't going to scare fish, but what it's going to do is dry that fly out very, very well. Now you have a few options. You can either reapply that liquid floatant, but even better, you could use something like Loon's Blue Ribbon. And this is the powder that was in that first bottle I showed you. And this can work on traditional flies. It can work on CDC flies, that cold canard, with those fine webbed feathers that get gunked up by traditional floatant. And this will keep your fly floating. So effectively, these together go into this. So Top Ride is made up of the beads that you'll find in Easy Dry and the powder you find in Blue Ribbon. But you can use them separately to produce some pretty cool results. One more product that is dust related is called Loon Dust. Now, Loon Dust actually has a brush applicator. And the cool thing about this is I will use this on nymphs, I'll use this on emergers, and by kind of choosing where I apply some of the Loon Dust, you can create those cool features like some bubbles on a wing case or something like that. And you can just continue to reapply this stuff, but it will keep flies on that surface film if you only use a little bit. Or you can even sink your nymph and put some of this on there, and it's going to create that illusion of a bug with bubbles on it. And again, these could be the small things that go from a normal presentation to a presentation that elicits a strike. Now, one more product I want to mention is Payette Paste. So for some reason, I think it's because of technology, leader and line pastes and gels have fallen out of vogue. But they're very, very helpful. They are one of the first lines of defense into keeping your dry flies riding high, especially if you're fishing faster water. So I don't use a ton of this, just enough, a little bit of a pinch between the finger and the thumb, run on the butt section of my leader, I find gives the leader enough buoyancy to keep my fly where I want it a little bit longer. Don't use a ton, just enough to give my fly a better chance, especially when I'm going through some faster moving water where my fly is going to get pulled under as I either set the hook or as I am pulling back to my next cast. But these are just some ways to keep your fly where you need it to be in front of fish. So for more information on these products, make sure you go to castingacross.com, where you'll find 2 posts a week and 1 podcast on the people, places, and things that go into the pursuit of fish.